Welcome back, guys. In this section today, we are going to discuss about data models. In previous section, we have completed with the difference between file system and database management system. So, what is meant by data models? First, data models is nothing but it is a meaning of modeling data. Means the data, how we are going to structure, how we are going to shape the data. Means how we are going to represent, how we are going to represent and figure the data in the stored data to give a shape to the data or to a given figure to the stored data is nothing but data models. The shape basically doesn't means that what shape you are going to give to the data. So in this data modeling is performed basically in three types, four types. That is relational data model, semi structured relational data model. Next one is entity relational data model and object relational data model. Okay, and first coming to the relational data model. Relational data model is nothing but relational data model is nothing but it's a type of model designs the data in the form of rows and columns within a table. Thus, a relational model uses the tables for representing the data and in between relationships. Tables are called as relations. So see guys, relational data model is nothing but the data. As of we said that data modeling is nothing but the structure, the shape we are going to, the form of data we are going to represent. So relational data model is nothing but the data is represented in the form of rows and columns. That is tables. Rows and columns means tables. So how the data is represented in the form of tables we are going to specify, and at the same time we are going to specify the relationship between the tables also. If for example student information table as well as uh, I mean teacher information table, so how we are going to make the relation also, we are going to specify the relationship also. In that format we are going to specify the relational database, data models. And next one, talking about entity relationship data model. So entity relationship data model is nothing but, as I said you previously, entity is nothing but the name of the table. For example, if we say student data, student table, and any table. For example, employee table. Okay, student table or teacher table, right? Student table or teacher table. Student table, the name is known as entity. Teacher table is known as entity, and the table in which student name, student id, student address, these names is known as attributes. Okay, so how these entity relationship, how it specifies, we need to model the way to specify, to identify the relationship between those entities, that is student table and teacher table. An ER model, entity relationship, is defined as ER model also, is a logical representation of data, has the objects and relations among them, in the form of objects and relations among them. These objects are known as entities and relationships in association among these entities. Okay. And next one is object based data model. So object based data model, by the name itself we can say that it's based on the objects. The data is modeled based on the objects. An extension, it is an extension of model, which notations of functions encapsulates an object identity as well. So it is an extension of the entity relationship data model. At the same time it extends the some of the features of entity relationship model. At the same time it also uses the functions, encapsulations and object identity to develop, to make a data model. Okay, here the objects are nothing but data carrying its properties. Objects are nothing but data carrying objects. For example, functions are. So, an entity relationship data model will be looking to the deep in the second part of the first unit. Okay, and next one is semi-structured data model. What is meant by semi-structured data model? Semi-structured data model is nothing but, by the name you can say that the data model is structured, but it is how it is structured is semi-structured. Means this type of data model is different from the other three data models. What are the other three data models? Relationship data model and entity relationship data model and object based data model. It is different from these three data models. The semi-structured data model allows the data specifications at the places where the individual data items of the same type may have different attributes. See, the individual data items of the same type may have different attributes. For example, individual items is, for example, student table and teacher table. It has a individual items of the same type may have different attributes, same type. For example, we can say that teacher table and student table have a relationship, but they have some common attributes, right? Same type may have different attributes. Same type, they are related to the education sector only, but they have different attributes. Means teacher table have different attributes and student table have different attributes, but they both are on the same relationship, that is education. Okay, in that cases we are going to use semi structured. And um, the extension like extensible markup language is also known as XML, is widely used for representing the semi structured data. So for representing the semi structured data, widely the mostly used language is extensible markup language. Okay, and coming to the advantages and disadvantages of data models. First one is simplified data representation. Obviously, we are going to model the data, we are going to shape the data. It is easy to represent, that's it. And enhanced data integrity means when multiple users transfer the data, when a message is transferred from the multiple users, the message should not be encrypted. The data, I mean the information should be consistent and matter, it should not be changed. It should sorry, it cannot be changed. That is one of the advantage here. Okay, efficient data retrieval. Efficient data retrieval means the accessing of data. For example, database management system, if we model the data in a clear and easy model, if we model the data in a clear and easy way, then it is easy to retrieve the data, right? That's it. So improved data organization. Basically, the data model, when we model the data, we'll have a clear idea and we'll step by step we'll improve the data. I mean, step by step we'll implement the data, how it is going to be structured, how the shape. So once the data is organized in the sequence, once the data is organized in a, I mean, correct manner, then it is easy. Improve data organizations and matter. Okay. Scalability, obviously, when the data is organized in a clear and easy manner, then the multiple, it is the accessing of information will be more scalable when it is unstructured data, when it's clumsy data, when compared to clumsy data. Okay, supports data abstraction. So abstraction is nothing but wrapping, right? Abstraction is nothing but hiding the internal features. Supports data abstraction means it always hides the internal implementation details. So these are the list of advantages of the uh, data models. Coming to the disadvantages of the data models, first one is initial implementation complexity. So initially when we are going to implement the data models, first we need to analyze the data, and first we need to understand the data, and we need to create a structure, and we need to create a format of data. This all, the initial implementation is very complex. Once it is completed, it's easy to use. Okay, next, cost of systems development and maintenance. See, we have created when the data is large, then we need to have a clear the cost, the hardware, the requirement, the system requirement, we need to buy it, right? To maintain the data, it is cost. And potential performance overhead. And potential performance overhead means when the data is larger, then it is complicated to model the data. In that cases, we will get in a performance overhead. Okay. And next one is inherent security concerns. Obviously, if lack of knowledge, when a person of lack of knowledge, when a developer lack of knowledge want to model a data, that is complicated. Coming to the security concerns. So if we model a data in a correct manner with the correct structure, it's based on structure and layers and architecture. Okay, so if we done this three correctly, then it is the security concerns will be okay. But if not, any one of these three points missed, then the security concerns will be complicated to maintain the data. Okay, that means next, limited handling of unstructured data in certain models. For example, as we see data models, we will format the unstructured data into a structured format so that it can be easily accessed. But if some cases the limited handling of unstructured data means unstructured data, for example, the unstructured data have only limited access. Then it is complicated to make it model, right? So there is one of the disadvantages we get in the modeling data modeling. Need for unfont planning, sorry, upfront planning. That is, as I said, you for once, if you want to model a data, then you need to have initially what you need to know what is the data and how the data is how the data is consisting of, and what are the relationships them, and you need to have it, and you need to develop a architecture and structure to represent those data. So without these key components, you cannot plan it. So that is one of the disadvantage. Without any knowledge of architecture, design, this all everything, you cannot go with the directly implementing of data models. So that's it for today's class, guys. If you have any doubts, please do comment, and do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Engineering Chaduvu. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.